She was the high flyer of the match. Nia Jax was the movable objects. Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. What's good, Farside TV? What's good, Wrestle Tati fans? This is Cypher or DJ, depending on the content you're watching. And we are here to review and talk about final thoughts on WWE's Crown Jewel. It's like I said, it's me, it's DJ, and Tati, Mommy, Tati, Mommy. What's going on? How you doing, Tatiana?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Oh my gosh, Saturday night. Just finished watching Collision and I watched Crown Jewel before then, so got about like 6 hours of pro wrestling. That's perfectly fine with me.
Yes. We've been stacking it up a lot. We pretty much have wrestling for every single day of the week except for like Thursday and Sunday, I think. But yes, go check out Tati's review on Collision. Really good stuff there. She's covering everything. Collision, Dynamite, everything. So, Tati, before we get started with this Crown Jewel thing, and before we even get into everything else, I will say again as a reminder, make sure you go subscribe if you haven't already. Check out at FarsideTV 1994 for me and at WrestleTati for her right beside me. That's WrestleTati. And sub to the channels for daily wrestling content and other great features you might not know about or want to see and hear. So, we're here. It's Crown Jewel. It's Saudi Arabia. It's Saturday at like 1 p.m. our time. Random. It's interfering with our lives.
Way too early.
Way too early, but we're here, right? So we had an opening kickoff match. It was Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. I didn't get the full end of the match. I did get to see a good amount of it, and let's put some respect on JD McDonough's name because the guy can go. I've seen him go on Raw. The man hits running Spanish flies like it's nothing. Like I told Tati, I feel like he should be in AEW. His style's more breakneck, fast-paced than everybody else's on the roster. It's something to definitely rival Adam Cole and plenty more superstars over there. Basically, long story short, we had a nice round. It was going back and forth. They really put the time in. Sami Zayn was doing this thing, and he ended up winning at the end because, of course, he did. JD McDonough's not going to win yet. He's a rookie on the roster. He's their Judgment Day's lapdog.
Judgment Day.
Exactly. He's not winning right now, especially against a Sami Zayn who had arguably one of the best WrestleMania matches he's ever had this past WrestleMania, winning the Unified Tag Championships. It's not going to happen. So I'm just giving you all a fill-in for that because me and Tati did not really just get to see that one that much, but we did get a good overview, look at it overall. If you want to check it out, you can check it on YouTube. It wasn't highlighted that much on the show, but they want you to look at the main focus, which was the actual show. So we're going to get into the first match, which started off with the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. And before I get started with that, I will say that they've been really decking out Crown Jewel. It looked and felt like WrestleMania. The atmosphere was huge. Yeah. Lord.
That Saudi money.
That Saudi money is there. That's you can tell.
Yep.
So Seth Rollins came out in his flamboyant attire, definitely adhering to the crowd, but we noticed a big change in the atmosphere of Seth's usual big matches. They barely sung his song, and Drew McIntyre got the biggest pops throughout the whole match. They were really
feeling him much more.
Oh yeah, they were.
Maybe they were thrown off by the fashions. I ain't gonna lie, that jacket was way over the top. And I'm thinking, like, when it comes to his closet or Becky's closet, he probably got a bigger closet. He needs space for all them big ass jackets. It's absolutely ridiculous. I wouldn't even be caught dead with something like that on. So that's probably why he wasn't as well received as Drew. So that I could totally understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. It was different, and I think we've let Seth slide with a lot of things. I think the red boot was
too much.
Oh yeah, I think the red boots was
that was the worst. But I think the red boots was what really got in his head and is like, you know what? If I wear ugly shit, people are gonna keep talking about me. And that's when it really kicked off, those boots.
It did, just like that, just like you just said. And everything, I mean, everything Drew did, they popped. They even started to boo Seth Rollins when they did the whole back and forth fist thing. Boo,
Mm-hmm.
and Drew was getting all the love. It was about 75-25 split, you know what I'm saying? But that did not deter from Seth Rollins' moveset. The guy was hitting springboard swantons, followed by a springboard lion salt, all in one combination, getting a close pin, hitting him with the back elbows, even doing the buckle bomb. And you know what? Drew was selling everything top key, right? And he actually sold the idea of doing some vicious things during the match. Some of them he didn't do, and some of them he did,
Mm-hmm.
including a very, very rough looking steel step spot. He dropped Seth right on his injured back, and it really
Yeah.
added to that story. Tati, so let me ask you this, because one of those spots was Drew McIntyre hitting a sidewalk slam to Seth on the ring, like the outside part of the ring, right? Do you think that
Mm-hmm.
the way this match was going, do you think that Drew McIntyre was more so adhering to the crowd as far as how to tell the story? Or do you think all of this that was predetermined carried out exactly how they wanted it to be?
Definitely predetermined. I know one of those things I was going to focus on was his back, just like how Shinsuke did at Fastlane. So I'm not really surprised about that, but I was kind of surprised about how the audience were more for Drew. So that was a little bit not as predictable. Obviously, going into this, I knew that Seth Rollins was definitely going to take the win, but it was really how the crowd was enjoying this match that made things a little bit different for me. Drew looked really, really good here. And I'm sorry to say, like, I just feel like he's not having the best look in WWE right now. Like, I do believe he deserved a lot much better, but there's so many big stars in AEW. I mean, I'm so used to talking about AEW on WWE, where it's like he probably won't be able to catch that big break that he's looking for right now. There's like too many big stars there, but this was a very good match. Probably my favorite match from this pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was a really good match on a stacked card. And like you said, with Drew, it's like I like his
Mm-hmm.
promo package for it. And he's telling the truth. Like when he won, it was in front of nobody. When he came back, he lost. Like when everybody came back,
Right.
I remember that because it was a very hyped up WrestleMania because everybody was back. It was crowds and everything. He went up against Bobby Lashley. I didn't expect Bobby Lashley to beat him. I don't think anybody expected him,
Right.
but he did, and I think he beat him clean. So it was, and it ain't been the same since. I mean, I feel him on that. I really want him to win. But what I was expecting was what me and you talked about before was a Damian Priest cash in.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. So I was expecting that to interfere with the finish, but it didn't. Seth just beat Drew McIntyre clean. He hit him with the super kick after evading the Claymore kick and him with a stomp, and that was it. I was kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was kind of. I know he already kicked out of that combination once, but the fact they hit him with the same thing again and just ended it, I felt like there was
Right.
a timing issue. Maybe the referee let them know at some point, okay, now we have to wrap things up because this is coming in. So you have 2 minutes. They usually give them a 2 minute mark before the match ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like maybe that's what happened when you get an abrupt finish like that. Like when you talked about a story ending in a weird way when it's been going so good.
Right.
Seth got the pin. He got the win. Damian Priest came out ready to cash in. And then Sami Zayn came back out there and pulled a CM Punk.
Ruined
Knocked him
it.
out.
Well, you know what? I have to say, I think while I was annoyed about what Sammy did, I do feel like he helped Damian not waste his opportunity. Personally, while this is my favorite match of the night, I really felt like I don't know if people are gonna agree. This match was a little safe for me.
Yeah.
By the time Seth was done, Seth kind of still looked fresh. So if Damian were to cash in, he would have lost it. Absolutely lost this opportunity. This would have been the worst time for him to cash in. So Sammy did you a favor, Damian.
Seriously, he really did. Because I really think WWE creative was didn't know what to do. They knew people were expecting it, but they didn't want it to fail, but they couldn't pull it. It was like, we gotta figure out something. Let's have somebody come out with a mask again because that's not old. And apparently it was Sammy. So yeah, he stole his briefcase. Okay, you
Yeah,
know,
I was a little annoyed at it at first, but they made the right decision. Absolutely.
absolutely. So then we transition to the fatal five-way women's title match for the women's
Oh,
championship.
I gotta cut you off real quick.
Yeah,
I was not feeling Byron Saxton announcing tonight. I was not feeling it at all. I just was like, oh, maybe Samantha's running late, and we just got him for like the first match. He was there the whole night, and I was just like, no, no, not Byron. I wasn't feeling it. But
who
go
was
ahead,
he?
continue.
Who was he cosplaying? Because that wasn't his voice. Like who was
I
he?
didn't like it.
Sound
I
like?
just so personally, I think it was because obviously Samantha going out there, she's not going to want to dress fully up with all these sweaters and all this stuff, whatever the Saudis are asking for. So they rather just kept it a man being out there. And if anything, I think Byron was the wrong person to ask, but it probably was short notice and they ended up getting him. I didn't like it. I wasn't feeling his voice.
Yeah, it was weird because it's because seriously, that wasn't his voice. I don't know if they told him he has to sound like a government official or what, but he doesn't sound like that. Like he sounded after
Yeah,
he
it,
up
it
at the
was it was
screen
off.
and coming to the
It was
ring,
off.
so sudden such the rainmaker. What? Like they ain't how he
Well,
talk.
they better not do that again because I was not feeling it. Like I did feel like okay, I love when women do the announcing. I think they have like this really great voice. Some of them, their voice is not that great. The one I loved the most was Lillian. I loved her voice so much. However, tonight I was not expecting Byron at all. I just felt like I don't know, they could have picked someone else. Just not Byron.
Yeah, that's gonna be a no for Byron for next time. Um,
Yes, definitely.
So we slide into the Fatal Five Way. It's Rhea Ripley defending it against and make sure I get this right. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, and the other one. And look, before everybody gets on
The
my,
other one.
I am high on that last one. It's just at this moment when you have all these other names, she often gets overshadowed. And
Absolutely.
in this match, I feel like they gave her a little rub, like about that much. It's kind of the JD Madonna thing again. You get these people from NXT and you move them to the main roster and they don't get to show off exactly how good they are. She's really
Right.
good. Zoe Stark is who I'm referring to. And if you don't know who she is, just picture Gina from Martin in her young early 20s.
Everybody says that. Am I the only one who's not really seeing it? I don't know. I'm the only one who don't see it. Everybody says it. I don't see it.
I be trying to like her, man. I try to like Zoe, but it's something about I don't know if she's making too many facial expressions, trying to look tough or something. But it's throwing everything.
Oh
up.
yeah, that's what I think too. Sometimes I feel like she's trying to give that tough look. That I don't know if everyone else is realizing that too, but yeah, that's what I feel. But definitely not looking like Gina from Martin. At least I don't see that.
So her finisher is pretty much a go to sleep, but with an extra move right before it. It's she flips you. It's called the Zoe 360 or something, but she gives you a knee to the face in the form of a go to sleep. But she was the high flyer of the match. Nia Jax was the movable objects. Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. The floor was the powerhouse. Rhea Ripley was mommy, and Shayna Baszler was the Kurt Angle.
Can we talk about the entrance? Well,
Yes.
I didn't get
Yes.
Rhea's entrance. What was that? Like,
So
I was surprised because it was a whole bunch of Saudi guys coming out first, and then she comes out last, and it just made me feel a little bit weird because I was like, the Saudis normally would not do something like this, so it felt really off. I had no idea what they were going for.
So put this into perspective, right? Without context, you have these four women come out with entrances so short that they literally overlap each other before they even get to the ring, which is already disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like I'd be pissed. Like if I was one of them, I'm like,
they had time.
I got at least get in the
They had time.
So they literally had them sitting in the ring for all of what 6-7 minutes waiting for Rhea Ripley to come out. after all these Arabic governors or whatever came out,
Very
nothing to do with Rhea
strange.
Ripley. Yeah, nothing to do with Rhea Ripley at all. It was just it was their ceremonious way of introducing, like I guess you can say, every year they try to get closer and closer to women being closer to the men's mantle. So at first
Right,
they
right.
weren't allowed. Next, they could appear, but they're fully clothed, but nobody cares. Now they're acknowledging that they have a women's champion and she is supposed to be revered. She's popular. Give her this. The other four, we don't care about, but this one's going to make money. So let's put our own Arabian stank on it. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Did it make sense? Absolutely not. It was weird. It was very
No.
odd. But
Very.
I definitely liked Rhea Ripley coming out there. She is something else. She is something else. But I think like every woman in there did their thing. Even Nia Jax. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax, but she didn't hurt anybody, so I think she won.
Everybody says they're not a fan of Naya. Honestly, I don't know. She rubs everybody the wrong way for the most part. I do think that she's talented, but she's reckless. You
Yeah.
know, someone's gonna get seriously hurt. I know, like she want that tough girl style. She has that look, but if she's not careful, someone's gonna get hurt and maybe even sued. She just I like her presence, I really do, but she needs to work on a lot of things. Oh,
Yeah.
and then she did say that she hit up Triple H and was like, hey, is there a spot for me? And she ended up getting it. So if she never said anything, she would have not been there. And there's a lot of opportunities that come that way. You never know if you're gonna get a yes. So if you don't take the chance, you'll never know. So kudos for her.
Oh, exactly. And I'm glad she was in the match. Um, she had a spot in the beginning I liked where you would assume they'd all attack her, which she assumed too, because she slid out the ring and she said, "You know what, y'all can have it," and and I liked it. It was different. It wasn't the jump the big
Mhm.
person thing like they
Like
always.
they normally do.
Yeah, that gets old. I don't like it. And then they just come back and beat everybody up. It's happened too many times. But everybody, long story short, everybody got showcased in it. Shayna Baszler put three of them in a submission at once, which I thought was a
That
beautiful,
was my favorite part.
very beautiful spot. The crowd, unfortunately, they
Hmm.
weren't giving them no time. I mean, it was the biggest thing that happened pop wise was Rhea Ripley doing something, and they gave Shayna Baszler like a little bit of flowers. Other than that, they
Yeah.
wouldn't give nobody nothing. They gave Zoe's I don't know why I can't talk today. They gave Zoe Stark a little bit of a pop when she went to the outside. She dove off the top turnbuckle. Um, but with that Saudi crowd, apparently you have to just pretty much demand your respect because otherwise they are just going to sit there, which we'll get into that later. It was an actual worse example of
Hmm.
that later. Um,
Right.
Long story short, they have their combination of moves, they have their series. Now, one thing I do like about these different wrestling promotions are they're finding different creative ways to finish matches that you wouldn't expect. Like breaking up a pin, and that's exactly how Rhea Ripley won. She hit Zoe Stark with a riptide from the second rope onto a pinned Shayna Baszler by Raquel Rodriguez, and that's how they
Yeah.
broke up the pin, and that's how she pinned Shayna. I think people probably have mixed feelings about that because it was kind of over the top, but you kind of have to be when
I
you're
didn't mind that.
popped. Yeah. I mean, they weren't getting popped at all. Like they even hit a Tower of Doom, which is the classic spot to make any audience pop. You have to. It's impressive.
Right, right. I think
We're
they expected that though, that the crowd wouldn't be as receptive because of their women. I mean, they've come a long way with the Saudi crowd, but they're still not really all into what the women are doing. Not as much as what the guys are doing, unfortunately.
absolutely unrelated. Did you see that cage match with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch like last month or whatever?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
did you like
Mm, mm, mm.
really?
I'm
It was
sorry.
it was scary because Trish like
It was better than their match before.
oh yeah. 'Cause
I it was way better, but I don't know. I give Trish props for that, but I don't know. We still got a long way when it comes to the women, not just in WWE, but across all promotions. We can talk about that another time because we can talk all day about what's going on with the women in wrestling, but definitely a better effort than the first time. I did not like that other match that they had. But yeah, I did enjoy it, but it was like, not all that to me.
Pretty meh. I feel you. Hopefully it does get better soon. And it did get better when we got to the next match for some people because Cena and Solo Sikoa went one-on-one. This was probably the first match that I didn't expect that to be the outcome. I definitely expected John Cena to win, but I'm kind of glad he didn't because that was probably the most predictable outcome that anybody would have guessed, and it didn't happen.
Right, absolutely.
Um,
Before we get into that, did you catch the commercial for Survivor Series Award Games right before that match?
yeah,
We caught it, but looks very interesting. Can't wait to see it.
I can't wait either. I like the concept of war games. I wasn't like watching NXT when it was like at its peak, but when they brought it to WWE, I started watching it more, and I like the idea of it and how they're starting to switch it up too. I
Yeah,
think that's in like a couple weeks, right? A few weeks, 25th or something.
yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah, that'd be nice to cover, and it's probably going to be at a regular time, hopefully.
I hope so. Where's it going to be at? I'm not sure. If it's in the US, then definitely at a regular time.
Chicago.
Chicago. Oh my God. I don't want to get into a Black Lady rant, but Chicago had all the good wrestling shows this year. Every time you hear a show, right before they say where it's going to be at, you already know it's Chicago. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Definitely not happy about it though.
You say you're not happy
But
about
they're
it?
good. They're a great crowd though. I understand why they keep getting the shows over there. But damn, can we go somewhere else, please?
It'd be nice, unless they decide to have a surprise that they've already denied last month. But it's WWE. You never know. If money talks, then they listen.
You
So
never know.
it would be nice to see that, surprise there. If we can get them there. Maybe. We'll see.
How did you feel about John Cena's performance?
Uh I don't know. Like John Cena, I get what he's doing, but it's a little. It's. I guess you can. No, I can't even say that. I'm not going to vouch for him. I was going to say I guess he did what he could for what he had, but at the same time, I felt like I've seen him do other stuff. I know he's getting older and more nimble, but I've also seen him do a lot more and a lot better. It was okay.
Right.
But I think his main point was to showcase Solo, and I appreciate it. I'm sure Solo did. I'm sure Solo was knowing his actual personality in real life. I'm sure he was amped up about going against him, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you think of Cena's performance? I thought it was mid, but I think it was intentional.
Very mid, and I know a lot of people going into this thought that this was going to be maybe a typical Cena burial. For what it's worth, like I really feel like at this point of his career, there's no reason why he should bury anybody. So I was hoping that Solo would take the win because obviously John Cena is only here because of the strike, and once that's over, deuces, we won't be seeing him for quite some time. So the best thing moving forward was for Solo to take the win. I think Solo looked great here. When they do stuff like this, though, I kind of felt like John Cena looked a little lazy here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly. It was very meh, like I did the job type situation, And
Right, you can do the job, but still, I don't know, like you make your opponent look great and you can still get your moments too. It just felt a little too easy. And I was just like, come on, Cena, you can give us a little more than this.
give him a little more, yeah. I think I gave up on Cena's performances after he stopped doing the 5 moves of doom, right? Which I used to love growing up, the spin out power bomb. And that's because it used to be his finisher before he became Cena. Cena, it was the back suplex into the spin out powerbomb. But as he got more of the legendary status, he barely even gave him a rotation. He literally just threw him up and dropped him, and then he'd do the 5 number
Yeah.
shuffle, and he would just walk up and it just got so
It was
routine.
very annoying,
Yeah,
very predictable.
yeah.
I never liked it. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, Cena does what he does. I'm glad he's giving everybody their rubs. That's cool. But I don't
Yeah.
know, I don't know what he's gonna do after this, or if he's gonna be gone, or how that's gonna happen. Maybe he got that.
Right, because I kept seeing on social media, people kept saying that this might have been his last match. I don't know if you remember, but like the crowd gave him a standing ovation and all that. It's John Cena. They're gonna do that, but I don't think that has anything to do with this being his last match. Obviously, when the strike thing is over, he shouldn't just leave abruptly. Like if he's starting something, he gotta just finish it. Even if it's quick. But like, don't just like not show up after the strike is over, because that's not gonna look good.
It ain't gonna look good for real. Um, we do have. It is showing me we got 2 minutes left. So
Okay.
I bet. Well, after that match, it went right into a segment. Miz TV. Miz is getting a lot of love. He's getting a lot of love. I don't know what it's something in the air. Maybe it's that time for a face turn. I don't know, but he's getting a lot of love. He brought out the actor out there. I'm not gonna even try to say his name, but
I don't know who that was. I'm not even gonna pretend I knew.
let's just assume he's the Seth Rogen of their country. He's a comedian. He's a comedy actor, all that. And he got out there and he talked. He gave Miz a lot of love. I don't think Miz was expecting that much of a rub from him. The
Hmm.
crowd was chanting Miz TV, and yeah, he got interrupted by Grayson Waller, another up and comer on SmackDown. Australian, mate.
He's annoying.
So you say he's lame.
Yeah.
Grayson Waller did come out. Same shtick that you would assume. He wanted to be all about him. It's his show. The Miz wasn't having it. The actor in question was still giving Miz a rub. It was just kind of there, for I guess comedic relief. I don't know. You said you seen it too. Like, what did you think of the whole thing? Because the guy ended up doing some moves to Grayson Waller, and I don't know. It felt like a WrestleMania segment again. Like,
Right. It's always the same when it comes to these two, Miz and Grayson. It was very cringy to me. I wasn't surprised that he ended up coming out. Now, when they ended up bringing his own set onto Miss TV's set, I was like, oh shit, okay. And I thought it was gonna get like really interesting, but honestly, it's just the same old thing that we get from them anyway. Yeah, very cringy. And this is supposed to appeal more to the Saudis than everybody else because we didn't even know who that dude was to begin with.
yeah.
So I had no idea if we should even like this guy or not. Obviously, they wanted us to like him, but we just don't know who it is. So I couldn't really get behind the whole thing. That was my bathroom break.
Yeah, exactly. That was weird. And you know what? You mentioned bathroom break, and I mentioned the crowd not popping earlier. Both of those come into play
Mhm.
later. Can't forget that because it was embarrassing. But I will definitely bring
Right.
it up later because that was just wrong. It shouldn't have happened. So, uh,
Hmm.
bad segment aside, we did go right into your favorite superstar of all time versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Um, for those who don't know, Tati just loves Logan Paul. I mean, can't get
I love this guy so much. Y'all just don't know.
can't get enough. Got Logan Paul action figures. Didn't even know they made them, but apparently they do.
Didn't know.
No, but in all seriousness, yes, he went for the U.S. title. He had a weird promo package. Logan Paul was in the desert and he rode his. I don't want to call that a spider. It was something, and
Something.
it was weird. He drove all the way to the building and to fight Rey Mysterio. I don't know. The match, in my opinion, to be honest, I didn't care for it. I'd rather watch the women's match. I like,
Really?
yeah, because like I felt like I don't know if Ray was tired or Logan
No,
was.
he's old. He's old. That's what it is.
I
He's been
don't know,
doing this for too damn long.
literally. I think literally like 30 something years.
I'm actually surprised that you're saying that because honestly, I felt impressed with Logan here. If someone didn't know that he wasn't a wrestler, they would believe that, with what he did tonight. I really felt like there were some things that he messed up, especially that, well, I don't know, what do they call him in WWE? In AEW is the buckshot lariat. I
Yeah.
think it's slingshot, clothesline, something like that. His fucking legs gave out going for it, and I was just like, oh my god! When you do really big moves like this, you gotta execute it perfectly. And when that happened, that's when I was like, oh shit, maybe Ray might take the win. However, though, his little stooge that end up coming out later on in the match with the brass knuckles, that right there, I was just like, I wasn't expecting there to be any interference or whatever. I was kind of hoping he would win clean, and that wasn't the case.
Yeah. See, now I gotta rewatch it because I didn't even see that buckshot lariat spot. Maybe that's why I didn't think it was all that because I was looking for it, but I guess I missed it. Um, he was going tit for tat with Ray too when it came to the technical part in the beginning, so I will give him props there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more to it, but no, he had his lackey coming, slamming the knuckles, and he won the U.S. belt like we thought he would.
So
Um,
the thing going into this is that obviously Ray is like 20 something years older than Logan. Logan, there's a size difference in terms of height. And this is one of those things that kind of bug me when someone really tall goes against someone really short and they do these moves that they shouldn't be doing. Like certain things just don't look great on a taller wrestler, especially Ray being probably the shortest one over there. So certain things I didn't like. But obviously the age difference, Ray is definitely tired. I don't know how many matches in all that Logan has had, but it's not that many. So he's really, really fresh, in this match compared to Rey Mysterio, who's been having the US title for a little bit now. The interference, I didn't like that. It should have been clean.
yeah, it should have been. I guess we'll see what he does with it. I don't know if he's gonna be regular or not. I don't know if that's even in his contract. I think he literally just re-signed with them 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like on a very limited schedule. So I don't know how they're gonna do that one. I think I did see
Right. Actually, yeah, I was about to say that Santos, there's going to be a problem right there for sure. Because Santos, when he comes out, he puts his foot on the brass knuckles that's already on the ground, right? I don't even remember how it got out of Logan's hand, but he's put his foot on it. And then he takes it and he's chasing that little dude around the ring, the one that was helping Logan. And then he puts this brass knuckle on the damn ring and just run with the guy. Why would you just leave it there? Now that's what helped Logan take the win.
hmm storytelling.
So definitely it's going to be some type of issue with Santos and Ray on that one.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I hope they go ahead and let him turn heel. I really did like Santos when he was heel. I think everybody liked him when he was heel. He was doing a lot more when he was heel, and even his other
Right.
two, guys whose names nobody knows or cares about even said the same thing. The other NWO members, they said it's harder for them to be faces, but when they were heels, everything was a lot smoother. And I think the same thing with
Right. It
Santos.
makes me wonder if that was intentional, him leaving it there. It had to be.
I think so. I think I think they're going the subtle route. It's like because, like you said, why would he just leave him there? You know, kind of like
Right.
how they were leaning toward the Judgment Day when Finn Balor, when Damian Priest slid that Money in the Bank or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It was like it looked really weird. Like, why would you do it that way when you know? But then they didn't follow up. I think they're doing the same thing with Ray and Santos, but they're trying to save it
Yeah.
where it makes sense. I really think when it comes to those stories, I think Rey Mysterio had the best one with Andrade. That one was one I legitimately loved when they went back and forth. It didn't matter if it was for a
Oh
title or not.
yeah. Oh yeah, they dropped the ball on Andrade. They really did.
Why?
He's been like really, really great on AEW since he's returned. And every time I see him, I'm just like, damn, he could have really be a big star in WWE. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, they're weird. Their WWE's weird. They dropped the ball on a lot of great, top notch people. I really don't understand. And it's funny seeing MGF how he was security over there, and he had to even worked
Right.
that. Like they wouldn't even try to do that at first. They had to submit a whole video, and then they just let him be security and then go forward. But I guess that's another separate conversation. A whole list of AEW stars that could have been and thankfully aren't because now they're huge stars.
Right. I know. So before I move on, I think the issue is that WWE, they kind of already have their eyes out on who's going to be the stars and who's going to be the supporting role type situation. And just like the issue with LA Knight, the fans want him to be the star, and WWE kind of was looking at him like, no, not him. And at some point, they have no choice but to give in and give the fans what they want. So, when we look at somebody like Santos, I don't look at him necessarily as a star, not right now. Sure, if he was healed, that probably could change. They just have to figure out like what's the best thing to do with people. If they already have that mentality that they want to have certain people to be the stars, then they're gonna miss the ones who are super, super talented.
Exactly. Exactly. And speaking of missing superstars that are super talented, let's segue into what I was referring to earlier. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky, and which had to be one of the most disrespectful reactions I've ever seen. Like that crowd was dead silent, and
Absolutely.
they were pulling out moves like again that you would have to pop for. Like okay, they're still dead. Let's try this. They were just like waiting for the main event, and I hate when a crowd is like that because it's usually a crowd like that, and
Right.
it was just wrong, man. Like they are the two of the best female wrestlers in the WWE. I don't understand.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's a cultural thing that's going on over there. And I just don't really like it. I just feel like, first of all, you spend money to get them damn tickets. There's no way I'm gonna sit there and be quiet. If I see something that looks great, even if it's somebody I don't like, I don't like Logan, but if I see him do something really great, I'll pop for it. Why not? In the crowd, they're really looking at a really great match here. And just because they're women, the reactions was just hardly any reaction at all.
Exactly. It really was. So yeah, it was a low energy crowd. They were hitting their moves, Bianca Belair. Usually when that is like that, or she's looked at as like a heelish figure, she'll pull out some of her more power type moves, like she did in Puerto Rico at Backlash, which I thought was a nice spin. She went up against Io Sky there, or I'm sorry, make sure I get that right. I think she went up against Io Sky at Backlash. It was either her or no, she went up against Io Sky, but it was at some pay-per-view this year, and people were chanting Io Sky, but almost booing Bianca because she got so over. Oh, Io Sky got so over with the crowd. I think it was Puerto Rico. If I'm,
I can't remember. That was a really good show, though.
it was a good show.
Really awesome crowd, by the way.
Yeah, very awesome crowd. So, and Bianca is a good sport. So whenever she feels like that's the case, she will give her opponent a babyface rub and let them fight for her, chance to fight back. And then if the crowd seems to get back to normalizing, that's when she goes ahead and takes the job and finishes it. But long story short, they did a great job. They had a great match. It was very fast paced. It was very hard hitting. I like Io's style. It matches Asuka's. Yeah. Bianca Belair will forever be one of my favorite ever. To me, she's like Montez Ford in my eyes as far as the raw talent that The difference is actually pushing her to be that. I don't know what's going on with Montez. Maybe they'll have some faith in him at one point, but basically, we were getting to a finish, and we had a masked stranger come in, or a hooded stranger come in. And did you see who that was, Tati?
Yes. First of all, before we get there, you forgot to mention Bailey up in there, all up in the match. It does help, but I would have been annoyed. I would have been like, you know what, I got this. I really don't need your help. But she does end up helping her out, though.
Yeah, Bailey was all up in there. I forgot. Thank you. I did forget about Bailey. Another one. I don't know if she's just been. I know she's been hurt bad like a couple times over the last year, but I don't know if that's what plagued her performance over the last 2 years, or she's really trying to get damage control over. But I just don't know what happened. She's more of a manager role to me now. Even when she's in the ring now,
Right.
it's not the same. She used to be one of the top tier, and I just don't understand at her age, still young, like why she's not doing more like that. And I know she's trying to get others over. I get it. But there has to be a level of excitement. I don't get that excitement when I see Bailey anymore.
Right, absolutely.
She went against Charlotte Flair not too long ago. It didn't feel epic. It felt like Charlotte Flair and a jobber. It was just weird. It got that bad. And we know how Bailey can get. So I just think it's...
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But yeah, Bailey interfered, helped her people out. EO's like, what are you doing? Bailey's like, I'm trying to help you. EO's like, yeah, whatever. Back up, let me handle this. And then that's when they did their thing. Had a screwy finish. Kairi Sane, if you all don't remember, they referenced NXT on the show, but she was on Raw. She tag teamed with Asuka and had the women's championships when Nia Jax actually hurt her for real. Injured her in the random Raw match. She cussed too. It was bad. And she ended up leaving. But now I guess she's back. She looks better than ever. Her insane elbow is still amazing. And I hope that they really drive this narrative home with her, EO, and Asuka. I would love it. And according to their reports,
I too.
I'm sorry, Tati. Go ahead.
Say?
Oh, just according to.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say I did like this moment. I kind of felt it was a little bit wasted on this crowd. I probably would have saved this for another time. Like if this was somewhere else in the US, the reaction would have been insane. But it just, the reaction kind of killed it for me. Like usually when you get that really big pop, that big reaction when something like this happened, it makes the moment feel more epic. And unfortunately, it was a wasted opportunity to do it right here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they actually filled in the audio at one point because she came, they didn't say nothing. They're like, it's Kairi Sane.
Oh, yeah.
Pause. Some, and then all of a sudden, like you heard like a little bit, I'm like, and then it just fade away. I'm like, yeah, they.
So, do you think that they didn't recognize her though? Because she looked a little different to me. I don't know if it's the makeup or something, or the outfit, but she did look a little different to me. When they said her name, I realized that it was her, but at first glance, she did look a little different. Maybe they didn't recognize her, but either way, they wasn't really feeling it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Triple H made reference to that too on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. I thought that was funny. He broke the fourth wall, which I love when they do that.
Right.
He came.
Yeah, sometimes it's cool.
Yeah, and he came to the crowd and they were like loud, and he was like, "Wow, that's real." I thought they just filled in audio for that, and I just thought that was a nice little touch.
But they do sometimes, though. They do.
Yeah, they do a lot. They actually killed LA Knight's crowd reaction one time because it was so loud, and they were like, that was before he was
so obvious.
LA Knight. He was like getting there, and they was like Sami Zayn cheering him, and they didn't like that. They cut the audio out, and I was just like, come on, y'all. And it was obvious. It was a bad mix. Like you can tell they did. It was bad.
Did you also catch, they said like during one of the commercial breaks how they were going to have like a WWE museum in Saudi Arabia? Did you catch that?
I didn't see that.
I thought that was very strange that they would do that over there. Like, why not in the US? It would seem to be much more fitting, I don't know. I thought it was really weird that it was going to be over there. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They have what, a 10-year deal? I think they're halfway through now.
Um, Yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is with them. I'll be honest. I did not expect it to last this long with them. I thought with like the political issues and stuff like that, that it would come to an end kind of short, but they last a lot longer than what I was expecting. And honestly, I kind of don't really like, okay, I don't want to say I don't like the Saudis, but the way that they do things, I just feel like it really plays like an issue when it comes to, the women being there, them having to follow their customs because they're in their country, which I respect. I can get that. But I do feel like WWE kind of got to take their stance down a little bit because now they're like, well, yes, we got these women in the roster and we understand that they don't appeal to you guys like that. And they kind of get on their level with that too. So I kind of don't like that. Like if I was a woman working there, I would feel some type of way. Absolutely.
It is very odd. I don't think Sami Zayn was allowed there at one point. I think the
Yeah,
first
he
time.
wasn't there for the longest.
Yeah.
I think Night of Champions was the first time that he had been over there because he's
Yeah.
right because of where he's from too. Like he's Muslim, but I believe he's from Syria, and they got their issues with the Saudis. Well, they had their issues with the Saudis, and they made up or whatever. So a lot of political driven bullshit going on. And the WWE just trying to make a lot of money over there, kind of got themselves involved. It's not worth it in my eyes.
Really not. And you see the results of that too. Um, so yeah, that was Io and Bianca. Io won. She retained her titles. Now she has a clear pinfall over Bianca and Charlotte Flair at this point. So maybe they're, boosting her credit up some. By nefarious means,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But she's got the visual pinfall, so they need to put, respect on her. I think they're just leading up to her and Bailey at WrestleMania. If that's the case, I really do hope Bailey shows out. I would love it. I
Yeah.
would watch it, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them at WrestleMania.
Yeah. All right. So now we segue into a match I forgot that was on there. Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes. Um, really
Yeah.
thought it was going to be just a Raw match, but they really brought it here. So, what did you think before I even say anything like about Damian Priest's performance? Because I feel like, in my opinion, I think he just gets better and better. But I don't know how everybody else feels about him. In contrast to
Um,
Cody's routine moves. So,
right. So I do think he's improving. However, the biggest obstacle for him is him being a heel. And I feel like they make him look stupid in the ring. And I don't like that. It's just like, you know what? Personally, as a wrestling fan, I prefer heels over baby faces. And just because you're the bad guy doesn't mean you have to look stupid every time you go out there. And I really felt like sometimes they just, well, in Damien's case, he just looked dumb. And I'm just like, you can't be handsome and dumb. I want you to be smart in the ring. Can you do better than this? And I know this is WWE. I feel like they have an issue when it comes to heels and making them look great all the time. And I get it. Cody Rhodes is y'all baby or whatever, and y'all trying to finish a story that's never gonna get finished. But to me, I just did not like how they have him playing like personality wise in this match. But he's definitely improving for sure.
yeah, that was some pretty wild spots. And I always thought the heels had the better move sets all the time. Because
Not
okay,
not in this case though.
like Edge, right? When he had, shit, even now, like when he was the good guy, babyface, he hit you with moves that just look like they hurt. Like
Yeah.
educator, edumatic, execution, spear, concerto. Like he would hit you with stuff that just would look brutal. But then you have a John Cena that'll give you like this soft STF that's not even locked in. Like it's just
Right.
contrast was there. Randy Orton, nah, never mind. Kurt Angle. had some of the best moves that like they hurt. Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
the list goes on and on. But
And
Cody,
another thing with Damien, he has the briefcase. He needs to look like a threat. He doesn't look like a threat at all,
I was
especially not in this pay-per-view.
not with them tight jeans he got. That threat, the threat don't work. Them things too tight. His legs too small for them tight.
Right, and he's really really tall. You know what? He's tall and handsome. I'll take that. But it's a little tight. Yeah.
But he cold though. Like when he gets like I think the best example of them showing how bad he is was when he had that feud with Bad Bunny. It was nice. It was nice seeing that he could have ended the
I
match
enjoyed that. Yeah.
great. And that's what they supposed to do. He's a verified WWE superstar. He's supposed to be able to kill Bad Bunny. So when he choke slammed him and left him back up, like, nah, let me finish the job. That was perfect. I feel like that was the perfect way to set up the ending because there's
Yeah.
no way you can tell me that Bad Bunny is hard. Him and Logan, for being celebrities, they adjusted to the lifestyle quick and are arguably two of the best celebrities ever do that. But you can't tell me in any universe by himself without any antics that Bad Bunny would destroy them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
Right. That's true.
I'm glad they played it like that. And then we had the LWO and Carlito. Don't know why they changed his music, but whatever. And then they came out and then they did his thing. So yeah,
Oh yeah, that was a really great moment. And one thing I like about Bad Bunny is he's a real fan, and you can tell he's a real fan. Bad Bunny, he got millions, hundreds of millions of followers. People that listen to his music. He's super popular. This him being part of WWE, I never saw it for clout. If you remember, when as soon as Logan won the U.S. title, somehow magically out of thin air, a prime drink was already in his freaking hands, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is just what's going on here? I did not like that. It just threw off the whole moment for me.
that prompt. Actually, I think he said a phrase too before it even gets started. He said, "I may not be the greatest of all time, but I'm the greatest of all prime." And I just thought of you. I was just like, there goes the ad right there.
I'm over it.
Oh man. Okay. Um. Oh yeah, we did. I did leave out before I wrapped that match up. Finn Balor came out. Okay. Dominic Mysterio. Okay. He had a chair. He got slept just as soon as he came out because Jey Uso super kicked him right in the face. And I love spots like that because I feel like at this point, three things. One, Dominic Mysterio is a cartoon character. Everything he does is not to be taken serious. He's aware of that.
Absolutely.
We're aware of that. He loves it because it's exciting. Like outside of WWE contextuals, he's having the time of his life.
Right.
He's getting booed like he's supposed to. He does dumb stuff all the time. Like I said, that was the perfect contrast to me when that happened. It was so quick, and it was only like 30 seconds long. You have this.
Wait, so you like that?
The fact that he got kicked?
No, the whole thing with Judgment Day coming out and then obviously not being able to help Damien. I honestly, I just don't like it. I really don't. I just feel like it doesn't help Judgment Day look good at all, and especially doesn't help Damien Priest. That's what I'm just saying. Like him having that briefcase is supposed to be a statement, and it's not for him. Definitely not right now.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the fact that they came out as like I feel like it wasn't needed. I feel like they did it for contextual, like, hey, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We make an appearance on the show. That was it.
Right.
I think Jey Uso kind of like punctuated that with saying nope. And as soon as dude walked down, he just kicked him, and that was it. It's like
right. Like so Jey is a threat for all three of them that just came out. Like it just felt weird. I don't know. They could have done without that though.
I think with them
they could have done without that, and Damien could have just lost.
He could have just Cody. Yeah, he could have just lost. I think Jey Uso. He's like at this point. I think he's like halfway non-canon. I think he's in the same boat as Mysterio as far as like antics for the sake of antics. I think everybody.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they did that in the back in gorilla position just for laughs. Like, hey, send Dominic out there with a check. He's about to just take everybody out. Hey, Jay, kick him before he gets there. And then everybody just scrambles and leaves. I feel like that would literally was for their own comedic because they really didn't add. It didn't add to anything. We know how Cody can get. We know how Damian can get. Either one at this point, it wouldn't have mattered if Damian beat Cody. It would not have brought Cody down any further than he is. It's Damian Priest. That was the point. He has the money in the bank. He should be able to beat guys like Cody clean. And without it making it look like, oh wow, it's a what do they call it? When somebody's not supposed to win, but an upset. Like it shouldn't be an upset for him to beat Cody. He should be in the same league as Cody to me. But that's not my call. That's them, you know.
Honestly, I thought Sammy might come back out. That's what I thought.
Sami Zayn?
For whatever reason. Yeah, because he took the briefcase from him earlier on in the show. So I kind of thought that, okay, maybe we got something going on with Sammy and Damian that's gonna play out, and he'd probably be back later on during his match, but that didn't happen.
I think the writers are pretty bad continuity when it comes to Sami Zayn and them, because I remember when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, were a team, and they helped Cody out earlier in the show when he was getting beat up or whatever. Later on in the show, he got beat up again or whatever. Neither one of them came out. So a person,
right? They have an issue with following up with stuff. It's not just WWE, but writers in general. I feel like those are the writers that are not necessarily wrestling fans. I feel like if you're a wrestling fan and you're a writer, you'll pick up on stuff like that with following up. WWE got a lot of writers that don't know shit about wrestling. They're just writing, and that shows when the little things, this is the little things that really matters, And I think that if Sammy would have came out, that would have been better than having Judgment Day coming out, because it didn't even help at all.
Absolutely. And that's when we go on to our final main event match. LA Knight, and the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, the two biggest pops of the night. Tati, what you think?
Wasn't happy. Predictability is just way too much. Personally, I like Roman still being champ. I'm cool with that. But every match feels the same. I don't like it.
Yeah, very stale bread, right?
Yeah.
LA Knight, I like him because I feel like his moves, he has a move set. Every time I see him in a match, he has a routine they're all supposed to, but he always adds a different move. Like he's starting to make the torture rack bomb part of his move set. Nobody does the torture rack bomb. You might see something like that in AEW every once in a while, but nobody in WWE does that. So I like that he's incorporating more moves to where a moveset nerd like me who's been watching that stuff and can call what that is and what that is. Like, hey, that's the torture bomb. Cool.
And he got great energy too. I like his energy.
Yeah. And I like how they started off the bat. He ran up to him, swinging neck breaker. We ain't here to play games. Like, let's get this going. But like you said, it's all predictable. Roman Reigns, same style, same monotonous, slow move set. Paul Heyman acts like he doesn't interfere, but if you watch the match enough times, you'll see that, he did jump up there once or twice, Solo
and Jimmy and everybody. It's the same thing every single time, and it's like, this is not good, not for Roman. Obviously, I don't know how long they want him to have the title for, but if they're going to continue to do all his matches like this, forget it. It's just, y'all killing that.
Yeah, killing the vibe.
And not in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been the major theme of this whole show. Lack of continuity, predictability. It's been treated as like it originally started, a glorified house show. It started off as that. We started to get a little better, but then now we're back to square one with the whole, I call that a capitalizing effect. Basically how a company has something people really like And then once they got the money or got their attention and they got that locked in, then they're back to being complacent and give you whatever because you're already locked in. And I feel like that's what they did with Crown.
Right.
Because they watch YouTube videos like this. They see people making bids about how the top 10 best or worst crown jewel matches, worst Saudi Arabian events, and they like, okay, well, now that they're looking at it something better, we got the money, we got
Right.
Saudi Arabian government's money. Now we can just do what we do, and it's no consequence. They're gonna pop for who they're gonna pop for, and they're not who they're not. These are the same people that are so old school minded that they literally dictated the match and outcomes of the first couple Saudi Arabian shows. That's why if you ever watch Crown Jewel from when they first started, it had like DX versus the Brothers of Destruction and
Right. All these legends and stuff like that. It's
Goldberg,
just very
Goldberg,
strange.
Goldberg versus your boy Undertaker.
I don't know what was up with that. They made money just making those one little appearances. So I could see why they went over there. But now we have Roman obviously being champion for 1,000 something days. They treat him like a main attraction until the damn match starts. It's like you don't get a chance to really see him in the ring, like on a Raw or SmackDown or whatever. But then you see him on a PLE, and it's the same thing you give us every single time. No,
Yeah,
not feeling it.
exactly. I'm with you on that. So for those who haven't watched it, yes, LA Knight did lose to Roman Reigns. No need to get into detail about the match because I mean that literally was it. Same style routine. He got distracted by Paul Heyman as if he's an idiot who gets distracted by shiny things. Roman Reigns bounced off the ropes, hits him with a nice spear, and then that's a 1, 2, 3. And that's it. That's literally it. So as much as we
Yeah,
would
and
love,
it felt a little short to me. Did it feel short to you or no?
yeah, yeah.
Not that it had to go on any longer. I just felt like it went by kind of quick.
It was very play by play. There was no type of real build or emotion to it. It was kind of like by the number.
Right.
So yeah, I can see why you'd say it's short. It was pretty by the numbers. So yes, so LA Knight and Roman Reigns, it wasn't the worst match, but it wasn't the most authentic. It was pretty by the books. It was a pretty decent match. I'm not gonna say it was bad. LA Knight at this point to me doesn't really have bad matches. They're either really quick or matches like this, which is probably the longest match I've actually seen him in. He has had some other matches that were kind of extended, but of course they were during a time where they didn't put too much stock or faith into him. So certain superstars lost to in a certain amount of quick time. This time we gave LA Knight some time. He shined and unfortunately didn't leave with the big prize. But also we thought that was going to happen. So
Absolutely.
I honestly think, Tati, that I can only speak for myself, but when you are the WWE and you have spoiled us with so many Marvel post-credit type endings when it comes to these PLEs, when we don't get them, it just feels short. And that's what happened here. I was expecting more from it, like maybe a post-match beatdown or a new bloodline member, just something that adds pizzazz to it. It was just like a nope, they interfered and Roman won like usual, and then it ended. So that was the crown jewel.
It could have been much better. I know that they know everybody was going to be disappointed that he lost anyway, which is probably why there was no extra beatdown or anything to make you feel even more disappointed. So I guess I get it in that aspect.
Yeah. Plus they were in Saudi Arabia, so nothing too much to lose from, right?
Right.
Even though they was they was behind them with the signs and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And they know that he wasn't going to win. They know it. I just feel like moving forward with Roman Reigns, we need to do better. We need to do better. The best part of the story has already been told, and it just seems like we're backing up into a corner here. They need to fix it up. These writers need to get to work and fix this because it's getting really old right now.
For sure. And that was the show. So, Tati, can you tell me what was your favorite part of the show? What was your favorite match? What What was your worst part of the show? Your least favorite match? What you think?
Um, Favorite match, I'm gonna go with Seth and Drew. I think I prefer that the most. Worst match? Mm, they all was decent. I can't say what was the worst. Worst moment though was that cringy segment with Miss TV and Grayson. It was just like we don't need all this. Um, After that, everything just seemed really mid. That's why I'm kind of having a little high hopes for Survivor Series. Personally, I think WWE have way too much PLEs, and when they have too much, basically like every 4 to 6 weeks, this gives us, a lot of bullshit pay-per-views, and you're waiting for the good stuff. So Survivor Series, I'm pretty much having a little bit of high hopes for. I think that's where we're going to see the best they have to offer.
Yeah, I believe that's true. I mean, they have after that they don't have any more WWE PLEs till the Royal Rumble. Other than that, it's be NXT's December thing.
NXT, yeah.
But yeah, that's the next one, just a few weeks away. Um, they are still, I think, still kind of struggling in the build up part when it comes to these PLEs because yeah, they are like back to back. They're already promoting the next one before the first one comes. It's kind of just now Survivor Series. Now the War Games thing, I think they're gonna make that. That used to belong to NXT. I think they're gonna make it a Survivor Series thing gimmick. I hope they don't make it like we were just talking about this the other day. Other YouTubers, they were saying how they were tired of WWE gimmicking pay-per-views like Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber. Like it would be nice to have.
Right, the Money in the Bank, I don't like. They need to bring that back to just keeping it at WrestleMania. That's what they need
great.
to do.
That was great. I look
that
forward.
Was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course Edge won the first one. Of course. And ironically, okay, before we get into that, it's off subject. I forget a lot of things. So I like to ask right when I think about them. Edge was the first one to have it, first one to cash in. Arguably, which cash in do you think was better? Edge's when John Cena was down, or Seth Rollins when he stole the championship at that WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? The heist of the century, they called it. Which cash in?
Well, out of those two, I would say Edge, but it was a little bit more exciting, I think, because obviously they first started off with that, so people didn't really know what to expect. So out of those two, yes, but I can't remember who he cashed it on, but Dolph Ziggler cashing it in was probably, I think, most fans' favorite. He deserved it at that time. So personally, this is why I feel some type of way about him getting released a couple of months ago. Like, he deserves so much more in WWE. He's been sitting at home cashing them checks, but you want to see him, getting the most out of his career while he's still signed. So out of those two, definitely with Edge, especially it was a fresh idea, something brand new, and something that people were really excited about. So yeah, I go with that one.
Yeah, I would like the idea of a Dolph Ziggler going up against a Cody Rhodes, only because I know that they both pretty much started the same way. When I remember when Cody Rhodes first debuted on Raw, this skinny, tall kid looked like he was nothing. Like he just came out the back.
Right.
Like he's Dusty Rhodes' son. I think we need to drink more water, people. I think the less water we drink, the more our speech becomes impaired. I think we should drink more water. I had a lot of tea and a lot of sugar today. And I think I need to drink more water because I sound like I'm slurring. But my point is, Cody Rhodes' first debut, nobody expected too much. He's Dusty's son, but he had no muscle. He was just a skinny, lanky kid, but they gave him, a little bit of a push before they put him with Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase.
I like when he was dashing Cody Rhodes. I think that's the peak for me with liking Cody Rhodes. That was like the only thing I really liked from him.
That's the most you could get at that time. And I think that was him putting his. because they was giving them like random stuff, stupid stuff for a while, to where it's like,
Oh, and then when he was Stardust, I don't know what that was about. That was I don't know. Yeah, no comment.
uh, I think when
So do
they
you think he's going to be the one to beat Roman? What do you think?
that's such a by the numbers outcome, and I think they know that people are aware of that. I wouldn't be surprised if they swerve people again. I would, and then at this point, I would hope so. I like Cody. I want him to win the big one, but we all shouldn't be expecting it months to a year before it actually happens. That shouldn't happen.
Hmm.
If anything, surprise us with something else. It would have been perfect if they let LA Knight win the Money in the Bank. Let him get all that prestige, let him get all the hypeness, let him get screwed over so many times and still set up
Hmm.
Cody versus Roman Reigns thing to where Cody wins, but then LA Knight comes out and everybody's like, oh, and takes it, steals it. That would, to me, that would have been the perfect setup. They messed up when they gave it to Damian Priest. I'm sorry. I know he deserves a push, but that wasn't the right way. And I know they need to put it on the
Wow.
heel, but that wasn't the right way. LA Knight was still
I
taking
don't.
the heel at the time.
I
So the,
thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna win it, but personally, maybe I'm being biased. I was preferring Damien to take the win, but I didn't know he was gonna be looking like a loser with a briefcase these past few months. So maybe if LA Knight had it, probably would have been the better choice moving forward. But that would be crazy if Cody would have beaten Roman and then LA Knight would have cashed in on it. Oh my God! I actually, that would be really lovely. I would like that.
yeah, I would. And I, to be honest, as a booker, I would sacrifice Cody for that pop because at the end
Yeah,
of
Cody Rhodes definitely.
at the end of the day, they love Cody, right? And he hasn't won the big
He's so
one.
boring. Oh my God. I don't know if people see him. He's just so boring to me. I don't see it. Whatever everybody's seeing, I'm not seeing it.
He hasn't
And
won the
plus that neck tattoo, oh, it's so annoying to look at. It's too big. It should have been like a size or two smaller, then it wouldn't bother me, but it's just like so out there. It's annoying. I don't like it.
pretty it's pretty Stardust-esque. Yeah, he doesn't, I don't know. Like, I think he should get the big one at some point, but I don't think it should be a reign. We've already seen, in my opinion, the best of Cody. Like we talked about before. I mean,
True,
he
true.
had to put the three crossroads on Damian Priest. He hit him with a Cody cutter. He
Oh,
hit him,
Damien put one on him too. Do you remember on the announce table?
yeah, the Days of Reckoning. Yeah, and personally, they probably shouldn't have did that because now I remember when he did used to do Days of Reckoning, and then they stopped because Cody came. They probably shouldn't have had them go like that because now I prefer the Day of Reckoning over the crossroads.
Right.
It just looks more devastating to me. Like now,
But
Cody's looks more safer now. Now that I've seen the Days of Reckoning compared to it, so now I don't want to.
right.
I want to see Days of Reckoning.
But here's the thing. I don't even feel like they've really built up Cody to take that spot for Roman either. I don't think anybody in WWE right now even looks remotely close to taking that spot. Like they really need to be focusing on someone to be next in line. And if it is Cody Rhodes, they're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Definitely not at this point.
What do you think about the idea of Roman Reigns vacating the title, being so good and so
Oh,
over that at the twilight of his career, he steps
what
away?
they fake an injury or something where he would have to vacate it?
Yeah, or he just decides like peak cocky Roman Reigns, smashed everybody, nobody's left. You're not good enough here.
I never
Just
thought of that.
goes to do the movies like The Rock and them. He just leaves it like, I've completed everything. There's nobody left. It's yours. And then it's up for grabs. What do you
I'm
think?
surprised we haven't really been seeing him in a whole bunch of movies and stuff too. But I've never thought of that personally. I think if that would have happened where he had to vacate the title, it would look better if they faked an injury for him to do it. Rather than him being like cocky and kind of give it up. Because he could have, stretched out the reign even longer. At this point, I don't even see anybody after him being remotely close to holding the title as long as he has so far. But if he vacated it due to injury, then that would be better. And then everybody else could just fight for it at that point. And if Cody gets it, then he gets it. But I would hate to have to win it that way because now you didn't beat the best to get it,
Yeah. I really can't think of who else can get it right now.
Right. There is literally no one. They need to be focusing on somebody. And personally, Cody Rhodes just ain't it. Not for me.
What about Logan Paul?
No way. I'm not even gonna think about it. Matter of fact, him winning that title, I'm thinking, like, how's he gonna be doing this? Is he gonna be on every week? Are we gonna even see him? Or is he gonna be via satellite? I don't want to see no via satellite stuff. I know he got a jet somewhere. He can make it to the damn shows. If he's not gonna be defending it, then I don't know. He might as well drop it at Survivor Series.
It'd be nice.
So I personally I see him not really being there as often. I don't see it.
I don't either. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a satellite, and it's probably gonna be via his podcast. And I think they are aware that the U.S. title, as far as value, has declined significantly. And it's sad because I used to love that belt when I was a kid. I liked it over so many others because it just looked so unique. I mean, the original shape, like, was just like, it was weird, but it was cool. It was different. It used to be something that the mid carders would fight for. Like,
absolutely.
Now it's pretty much become a trinket. So I think WWE looks at it like, well, we're not really using it anyway, but let's get a lot of eyes on it. So when we do use it, it'll be something to look for. I don't know.
He should lose it quickly though, because right now with Gunther with the IC title, it doesn't seem like anybody's going to be beating him anytime soon. So they might as well get it off of Logan anyway, get the U.S. title off of him so that other people can have an opportunity. I just don't really see him being there full time. I don't see it at all.
Are they still doing the brand versus brand thing at Survivor Series when they put the champions against each other? Do they still do that?
I'm not sure what the premise is going to be this year, especially with the with the cages and stuff. I'm not sure how they're doing this. I'm assuming that's where they're going with. But I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't turn out to be the case. They don't have that much time to really build it up like that. So I'm not sure. It's gonna feel rushed, I think, going into the pay-per-view, but it's gonna be different though.
Yeah. I hope they don't, because we've already had Seth versus Roman. Guys, drink water. We already had Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and I can't see them beating Logan Paul to Gunther. I don't see that happening. Gunther hurt that man without trying. Bad. Absolutely. And then they don't have their own tag team champions anymore. So I mean, it would be.
Oh yeah, they there's no reason for those titles to be unified. I don't get it. I'm not liking that.
Maybe they're gonna split them back up. Maybe that's why they.
I was actually hoping that they was gonna do that when it was Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos. I was kind of hoping that at least one set would be on the line, and unfortunately, it was both. And since then, it doesn't look like they've been wanting to, separate those titles. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But definitely, if they're going to do the brand thing, one set on SmackDown, one set on Raw would be the best way to go.
You think Gunther should lose it? Who you think Gunther should lose his Intercontinental Championship to?
I think people will be happy if he lost it to LA Knight. They have work to do with LA Knight if he were to take it from him. But in terms of keeping the fans happy, I think that would be the next best thing. But I don't really see that happening anytime soon. If it were to happen, maybe WrestleMania.
Wow, LA Knight. Okay.
Well, that's me assuming that LA Knight would not win the Royal Rumble, and people would not be happy about that.
Yeah, it's weird because like they clamored for that for Daniel Bryan, but he was an underdog and he
Yeah,
played that
absolutely.
part. LA Knight is one of them guys that's like, no, I'm better than y'all. I'm top two and I ain't number two. Like he's
Hmm.
so it's different. So I don't know how that would be if he didn't win. Or if he did win, like would they go all the way with it? Because I am tired of seeing the Royal Rumble winners win, but then they never win at the WrestleMania. Like that hasn't happened for real in like a while. They've been failing.
Right, right.
I think the last person that actually did it was probably the most predictable when they had Seth Rollins win, and then he went on to beat Brock Lesnar. I mean,
Hmm.
there was nothing else going on at the time, so that was the only viable option. It was either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman, and they didn't have
Right.
enough faith in Braun Strowman, even though he was more over than Seth Rollins at the time. So I don't know. It's weird. Um, Definitely want to incorporate more AEW with this stuff because I feel like you'd have more of a premise as far as knowing how they do with that type of stuff too, as opposed to
Hmm.
these kind of random convoluted style when it comes to booking and saving grace because it is odd
Right.
here and
I
there.
mean, AEW is odd too. I really feel like Tony Khan's inexperience is really showing, you know. I don't know what's up with that. Like like I said, with the pay-per-views, they usually knock it out the park, but like the build towards those pay-per-views are weak as hell, and it really needs to pick up because the difference is with PLEs, it's on Peacock. I probably paid like 99 cents for Peacock because I had got it for Black Friday deal. So I only spent like $1 a month on it. Now imagine $1 a month on a PLE versus $50 for AEW, who says that they're going to be having more pay-per-views a year. Please God, don't. That's expensive. That's really expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me appreciate the four pay-per-views they said they were going to do at first, as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
because I think they are switching to monthly with their new deal. AEW is so that's going to be weird because they're going to have to incorporate a lot more gimmicks, and they didn't have to do that at first. We were good with just full gear, revolution, all in, all out, and it's
Right.
I don't think they need any, you know.
Yeah. No more. They're done. They already add another pay-per-view for December, which is just overkill in my opinion.
Is it winter is coming, or is that was that just what one?
No, it's no, winter is coming is like the beginning of the month. It's called World's End. It's literally like December 30th or 31st, one of the two.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up Crown Jewel. Plus, me and Tati having an extended conversation about the WWE and AEW world, how odd and weird and how strange and how beautiful it can be all at the same time. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
heard my words in the past 2 minutes, so I'm proud of myself. I'm extremely physically and mentally exhausted, and that's the excuse I'm going to use, and I'm going to hold on to that. Um, so if you catch me sleeping or slacking, or slipping any other time, then you know that I'm just tired. But anyway,
Yeah.
glad we had this conversation about Crown Jewel. Those are our highlights. That's our recap, and that's what we think about it. If you were to grade this show from 1 to 5 as a star rating, Tati, what would you do? What would you rate it?
2.5. 2.5. I didn't even need to think about it. That might be a little generous, but yeah, 2.5. That's as far as it's going for me.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought you said 0.5 at first. I was like, wow.
It wasn't that bad.
2.5. Okay. I think that's fair. I'll go with 2.5 as well. I think my favorite match was Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, just because
Mm-hmm.
it started off, it gave the show a sense of this is probably going to be a stacked show. It did go downhill from there,
Right.
but
Yes, it is.
That was their best. That was their best match. The worst, only because of the crowd's energy. For me, it was Bianca Belair and Io Sky. They did their thing, of course.
Really?
Yeah, because it takes away from so much of it. It's
Right, right. Yeah,
a
that is
great match.
true.
It can be Adam Cole and MJF, but if the crowd isn't into it, it doesn't put a cap on all the hard hit moves that you really should pop for. And that's kind of the
Hmm.
disadvantage of wrestling from a fickle crowd like that, is because you
Right.
have the best move set, have the best things and all that. But it's like if the crowd ain't into it, it puts you back in pandemic times when you had to make your own sound effects and all that. And
Right. True.
you know, it was whatever. But yeah, I think 2.5 is fair. Anything else you want to add to this that you've seen on the show, Tati?
Yeah, with everything that happened, I just really hope that the road to Survivor Series is really going to be much better than Crown Jewel. I'm not sure where they're going to go in terms of the War Games. I'm thinking they're probably just going to have one match on that show, incorporating the cage, which would actually suck. Hopefully, two matches would be great.
Do you remember the rules for War Games as far as how long that does take? Is it every 5 minutes somebody comes out or something?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing like what AEW does. So it should be every 5 minutes until everybody's in there, then they close the cage, and then obviously there's a winner. So it should be the same rules because AEW goes by the same thing too.
Cool. All right, bet. Well, we look forward to seeing you all here again. Thank you for supporting us, for watching us. Thank you for your feedback on the last video we partaked in. We got great comments on it. Great interviewee.
Yeah.
You were. It was a great vibe. It was a good conversation. And like I told them in the comments, it was very nice talking to you, Tati. Very easy to talk to and ask questions to. It's good having somebody knowledgeable of this stuff to converse with, because
Yes.
it's a twisted love hate fairy tale of different things going on with this type of sport. It's
Absolutely.
a combination of sport, it's a combination of dramatics, it's acting, it's everything, you know. So
Mhm.
it builds for a good conversation.
Right. It does.
And yes, that was our results and our recap of Crown Jewel. If you may have some requests that you might have for us, as far as past pay-per-views, ones coming up, leading to it, feel free to comment, let us know what you think about them. And if
Yeah.
if we adhere to it, then that may be a thing. We might have a PPV rewind, as to say. You want to go back to,
Oh, that would be cool.
yeah, just to see, because things have changed since these things have happened, clearly.
Absolutely.
Maybe a WrestleMania 35, 5, 6, whenever the pandemic was. There may be a WrestleMania pandemic recap. I don't recommend it, but I'm giving you an example of one that somebody may say, hey, give us your opinion on that, whatever. So either way, it'll be fun. It'll be a good conversation. Follow us, FarsideTV 1994 and Wrestle Tati on those platforms on YouTube. Subscribe to the
Hmm.
channel. Subscribe. Hit that
Yes,
bell.
please subscribe.
Yes. And look, Tatia is at a high number of 600 and so. Get her up to 1,000. You already have.
Yes, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yes, please help her out. She has a nice, strong core fan base on her page. Trust me, she does. They engage. Continue to do that. Add yourself to the family and just hear some people talk about some really nice things. We're not here to bash anything. We're not here to over critique anything. This is a regular
Hmm.
conversation. This is a regular talking session we're having here. We're reviewing a pay-per-view that we're genuinely interested in, and we were genuinely kind of disappointed. But we're not bashing the pay-per-view. The performers are great, and we always just put our all and our personal opinions into what we say, whether it's a show.
Right.
So just guys, just make sure you just, stay connected, watch the content, have any questions or comments or concerns, have a healthy discussion in the comment section. And let's just keep everything nice and smooth and easy. So, Tati, anything else you want to add before we wrap things up and let these good people have a good day?
No, nothing else. Go ahead and check out the pay-per-view if you like. Like I said, it was mid, so expect that. But other than that, please like and subscribe to both of our channels and show some support. We definitely appreciate that.
Thank you. And we are out. Have a good one. Peace. Bye.
Bye.